Okay, I had to get this done because uh, there was a story in my head while I was doing it. You see, oh yeah, I'm streaming right now, but uh, while I was doing this one, I actually had a story that was going on. So the client ordered two of their characters and feedback rain, so I could like redesign and do whatever I wanted with them. But so at first, I thought, oh, I'll make her the male version of her, uh, of them, because one has tattoo and has the body of female. But I was like, how about I make the body male? But I was like, and then I decided, oh, it would be cool if I made her more, with a more masculine uh stature, like basically like a stud. I made her like body like a more um a stud's body. Um and studs, well, from what I've seen, most studs tend to have a more lean towards more male type body, like small hips and um wide shoulders. Definitely not all, but just I've seen a lot. And anyway, and plus practice for this storyline I have in mind concerning two studs who are a couple. But anyway, so in my head, at first I was just like, oh, um, she's real masculine in this alternate universe of the feedback rain I created, and so she's like, I, they're not arguing, and I don't think he's mad, but she's like pulling him in, and not like rough, but in like a in that calm, demanding, but not um, awkward way, like in a really, well, the only way to describe it is sexy, where she's not like trying to be anything. She's just like demanding, like come here or something, but not in a rough way. Well, rough, but uh, anyway. So I didn't have the story in mind at this point. I just wanted the emotion behind it of her grabbing his face and like teasing him. Like they're not about to kiss, but uh, it's like she's kind of about to, and he's like, and he might be turned on, and so he's like, she's basically kind of like blue balling him into kissing her instead, even though she's pulling him in, and um and I changed his hair. Usually he has like a crew cut. Is that what it's called? I guess like an old school army. Yeah. His haircut is usually like an old school army haircut where it has like kind of a flat top of sorts. It's a small one. But I decided to scratch that and change his hair to a fade, a clean cut fade, and made his hair texture slightly more afro textured. Um, but anyway, she no so because it's feedback rain, I could change like the hair and things like that. Sometimes that's all I change is just the hair and maybe um, add a few things, but really like I don't change the facial structure or the species or anything. But with this, I didn't change much with her at all besides make her um, more have a more stud body, a more and a more masculine, more muscular body, because female body can be, of course, bodybuilder type, but that's not what her body is. Her body, she's just cut, and so at this point, I was still just going by the emotion I wanted. And I always have trouble. Um, One of my trouble spots is having the arm um, like pointed towards, because I actually hate when in a picture when like an arm or something is stretched out straight towards the camera, where there's no like angle to it, where it's just straight on, dead on. I hate that kind of pose because it's so, no, even in a regular photograph, it's like it just doesn't look good unless unless like the hand is so close that it covers most of the body, so you don't see the arm, or you see barely the arm and it's like obvious. But um but yeah, just it has to be very very close up or not at all for me to like it, because it just looks weird. That space in between very close up to um, regular, it's just, it always looks weird. And especially if it's like a full body and it's towards the arm, it's like that don't make any sense. So but with this, since she was pulling him in, I always forget that the arm will be bent up more rather than downward. Even though for some reason I always wanted the arm, the elbow downward, more down, even though that's not really correct. Wait, yeah, it wouldn't really work. She would have to be bent more. But I I'm still working on it at this point. Like when I have trouble with a part, I just be like, oh, I'll skip it for now, and then I move back to it later. But and what they're wearing at first, I was like, oh, it's workout clothes. Nah, it's just like some. It might be like some workout clothes or some hood shit. But and so at this point, I think that's when I came up with this backstory. So with the AU, with the alternate universe of this piece, they're friends, and but they like skirt around the idea of fucking around with each other. Like they have made out. No, or maybe they haven't made out, and but they always skirt around the idea as if they have, or if they're already doing it, and they do work out together, and but oh yeah, and so in the alternate universe, it's like modernish times, and they're like their gym head. They go to the gym and work out together, and in the story, I was thinking she might flirt around with him and such, but um, actually, it's at the gym where he meets his husband, like in the canon story. But in this story, it's the gym where he meets his husband. This is before he meets his husband, and oh, and with this pose, so because I wanted her to like appear as if she's like bringing him in, that's why I didn't want that just straight him by her side. So um, that's why I changed it. And I was gonna have him like holding his nuts, like just the that gesture, just guys from the hood usually do sometimes. Where they used to do it a lot, where it became stereotypical. They did so much back in the day, but I don't think they do it too much these days. But anyway, he was about to do that, but that looked weird, and I wanted his arm back anyway. So yeah. So in this alternate universe, so they're always, I wouldn't want to call it flirty because it's so aggressive between them. And with her usually being the initiator, and he just like reluctantly kind of goes with it, um, even though he really does want to go with it because it's like a fun game that doesn't have an end, and or isn't like serious. So in the AU, um, in the gym, his future husband, who he hasn't really met yet, uh, he like thinks they're together, and um, some miss, and then even when and then they kind of start getting like fucking around with each other. But uh, this guy here, he forgets to tell him about what type of friendship he has with her, and the future husband, he doesn't even ask. He's just like, okay, but then when he wants to get serious, then maybe they talk about it, but or at least they try to, and maybe some things happen. I didn't get that far in the daydream. I just knew they were gym heads, and she flirted with him, um, but he gets together with his husband at some point by meeting him at the gym, and um, and the pants. I want pants like that. I always draw sweats like all extra baggy, like as if they're that thick or they bunch up like that. I wish they did. They don't. Not really. Or at least with the cheap ones. And man, her boobs are way too big. But I think I changed that. I should. Anyway, so and I really the finger still looks weird because she's still pulling him in, but it just looks weird. So okay, the arm seems good. It's just the hand still seems weird. And I was gonna have his arm around her, but nah, it's not that type of thing. Like he's never really the initiator, and I'm thinking like sometimes it, like maybe once, it led to them actually making out at some point, where she's like basically she dominates him, and and so like if they were a couple, then she would be the more dominant one, and it wouldn't be like a boyfriend girlfriend. It would be like a boyfriend boyfriend thing, like two masculine um, people together, rather than the masculine and the feminine. I mean, and I like his he does that. He's melanin rich in the canon, and so I like to show that he's melanin infused, and she is too a bit, but I didn't really color her. I just wanted him done. So thank you very much. Just had to get that out there before I forgot. Thank you. Bye.